I suppose it was kind of ironic that we sang about welcoming all the girls and boys and then sent them all out. I should apologize to Lori. She had a Palm Sunday song all ready to sing, and then she found out that you're going to sing it here in a few minutes. We already did. We already did. So sorry for that. Thank you for the emotions, though. That was great. Today we're talking about the one who comes in the name of the Lord. And the first thing that we have to do is try and figure out who that person is, because when Psalm 118 was written, I'm not sure they knew. And the people after that, I'm not sure they knew either. Now, they didn't have the modern conveniences of trying to track down who people were back in those days. They didn't have, for instance, Craigslist. On Craigslist, you can go there, and if you've seen somebody that you had wanted to meet and you wanted to talk to them, you could just post a notice saying, I would like to meet you. Remember me? I was this person here. I was wearing the red hat. And they would be able to find you and contact you. This is someone looking for someone that they met. This is an actual ad on Craigslist to the tall blonde hottie. This is usually why people want to get together. At my wedding on Saturday, that's a big joke. You should laugh at that one. At my wedding at Saturday, was it me or were you checking me out? I saw you a couple times at the reception. But I was too busy talking to my new family to find out who you were. This is at his wedding. I could sense there was this chemistry at his wedding. I would have written sooner, but this is the first time I've been able to get online during our honeymoon. Could we meet for drinks when I get back? This is not how to find out someone in the Bible. I think it might work outside. I'm not sure we should have married couples doing this, finding people to meet at their wedding. It gets kind of interesting. But this is not how to find out who the person is who's coming in the name of the Lord. It starts off saying, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, his love endures forever, and it ends that same way. He does both things. It's bookends. It tells us this is the theme. We're going to give thanks to the Lord today. This is really a many-sided psalm. There's a variety of voices. The psalmist speaks. There's a choir, maybe. There's the congregation that does. In verse 26, there's a he, we, and you thing going on that we got to figure out. Is the psalmist leading this psalm? Is he the one doing the talking, or is it someone else? And then, who is the psalmist anyway? And we're not really told, and these are things that we have to pursue. We have to try and find out who is the one who is coming in the name of the Lord. Now, verses 10, 11, and 12 suggest that this person is a king because he's dealing with international politics and he's dealing with nations in crisis. But maybe it's David. Maybe David was the one who wrote this. But later on, it sounds like, no, it couldn't be David because it sounds like he's following along on a number of places, and it doesn't sound like David's situation. So maybe it's a king that came after David that we're supposed to look for, who's the one coming in the name of the Lord. Or maybe it's an Israelite leader after there was no king, sort of like Ezra or Nehemiah. But we're trying to figure out who this one is who comes in the name of the Lord. And then there are 4 or 5 verses that just impact Christianity, are filled with Christian significance because they are associated with this day, Palm Sunday. These are the verses that were quoted on Palm Sunday. These are the verses that they sang when Jesus rode into Jerusalem. And so does that enter into it? Should we say that all of the he's, all of the ones who come in the name of the Lord are Jesus Christ? And then it was celebrated. We need to know that it was sung at Passover. Oh, I thought you were looking for something. Oh. Okay. Anyway, this is the song that was sung at Passover. As people were coming into Jerusalem, as they were welcoming visitors into Jerusalem, they would shout at each other this psalm from the walls. They would shout, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. And the audience down that were coming in through the gates would shout, his love endures forever. And since this is Palm Sunday, I think we should have some rehearsal about this verse. I'm going to say the first line, give thanks to the Lord for he is good. And then you need to say his love endures forever. Can we do that? All right, let's go. Give thanks to the Lord for he is good.
His love endures forever.
Very good. If you could put a ch in there, that would probably sound really Jewish then. Give thanks to the Lord for he is good. His love endures forever. And then verses 2 through 4, call on the audience. Call on the congregation to praise the Lord for the things that God has done. And then the assembly responds with that threefold repetition of his love endures forever. You only had to say it once so far. But God says in Psalm 118 that the audience responded 3 times, showing just how much they cared for the Lord and how much he had done for them. And then the one, whoever he may be, testifies about something that happened to him, about his personal deliverance by the Lord for what God had done for him, and then he calls on the people again to respond. Verses 8 and 9 are again this congregational response. So let's try this. I'll start. This is a great day. It's a great day because we were able to baptize 4 folks, some young, some not so young, 4 folks who have dedicated their life to the Lord, who have said that they want to stand with the Lord in all the things that they do, that they want to rule for the Lord. And then you reply, and we could do this with anybody here who has gone through some hard times. We could do this with Carol. Carol, this is a great day because you have come through a very dark time. Your enemy, cancer, has been after you, and now you have defeated it. And we reply, his love endures forever. We can do this with any problem that you have faced. And really, this psalm is very generic. It gives us hints that there are problems, and there was an original situation, but the Lord or the psalmist has made this into something that can be applied in just any situation. Any situation where you have overcome, through God's help, the battles that you are facing. In verse 10 through 14, the psalmist again talks about having delivered. He gives his testimony and he draws the audience into this testimony and asks them to respond in the same way. His love endures forever. The deliverance is not necessarily a victory in battle. It might have been originally. It was not necessarily a return from exile, although it might have been originally. It might not have been the original Exodus when they came out of Egypt, but it might have been originally. But it is now universal in scope. And it's also individual in nature because it applies to you. What are you facing that the Lord needs to help you with? And when we come through that,